What I like.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm all about black girls. Don't look. I just could never imagine not dating a queen.
Word. That's how you feel?
Yeah, that's how I feel. But from the way you said that, I'm thinking that you feel differently.
No. I know you love queens when they're Egyptian, not Nubian.
No, 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 no.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Makayla Anderson, and I appreciate you guys coming back and sharing another video with me. In today's video, I'm not going to have a lengthy intro. I feel like the topic at hand is lengthy enough, so I'm just kind of going to get right into it. I have my notes here all ready to go on my laptop, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. And without further ado, we're just going to get into it. Colorism at a glance. So today, we're talking about colorism. Colorism. What is it? I know you guys probably have heard the term a lot thrown around on Black Twitter or on Instagram or on YouTube, and you know, I know some people, they still argue whether or not it exists, which it definitely does, but colorism by definition is discrimination based upon skin tone. So usually those who are darker complected and who are in communities that have longer histories of European colonization will experience colorism the most. They're often made to feel like the black sheep in their communities. They're often ostracized because of their black skin. And honestly, they're discriminated against. They face a lot of bullying. They face a lot of internal struggles because of the way that people treat them, and microaggressions and all these different things. So colorism versus racism. What's the difference? Colorism is different from racism for a numerous of reasons, whereas colorism is kind of based on the aesthetics, like the color of your skin. Racism is based on your race. So those are the difference between the two. Dr. Sarah L. Webb specializes in colorism and healing communities who are affected by colorism. She has a great definition of what colorism is, and I'll read it to you now. Just gotta put on my glasses because I'm blind. So how she describes it is colorism is prejudiced attitudes or discriminatory acts against people based off the shade or tone of their skin, whereas racism is prejudiced attitudes or discriminatory acts against people based off of their actual or perceived racial status. So for instance, you have two beautiful black actresses, right? One is dark complected, one is light complected. And say a casting agency doesn't want to work with these actresses because they're both black. That's racism. But if a casting agency specifically only wants to work with the lighter skinned black actress instead of the darker skinned black actress, then that's colorism. And that's the difference between the two. They're not the same thing, but they're very similar. Dr. Sarah L. Webb also describes colorism as being kind of a symptom of racism, which I really agree with, because in these communities that tend to have longer histories of European colonization, they tend to value these European features, such as the light skin, the long hair, and, you know, blue hazel eyes. They value things like that. And the closer you can get to that ideal European beauty standard, the more privilege that these people are rewarded with, because they've been brought up to see European features and associate them with things like power, beauty, intelligence, and wealth. And just because we no longer practice slavery doesn't mean that these idealizations just automatically erase themselves. And unfortunately, these thought processes still harm many communities to this day. Featureism and colorism. Society's most toxic couple.
Light skins.
Why?
Because they cuter. And dark skins, y'all are like very complicated. I don't understand y'all. So light skins.
Y'all prefer light skins or dark skins? Dark skins. No, I lied. Not too dark. I don't like light skins either, but not too dark. Like burnt, like Nigeria, no. But why? They nasty. They too nasty. And light skins, they too cocky, they gay. And what's it called? Dark skins? No.
Now, featureism and colorism, Child, it's a mess. Now, while futurism is a new topic that has graced Black Twitter, it's certainly not a new ideal to Black communities. As you can see, we've been futuristic since the beginning. I remember growing up in my community, and broader noses were not valued. People wanted the small button noses. I remember people would get teased all the time, being called things like gorilla. I remember growing up, you could have full lips but not big lips because then you were ghetto. People would like lose their minds over light skin and light eyes. I remember going to school and girls with the 3C or 3B long silky curly hair were praised, whereas I was teased because my hair was an Afro 4A 4B kinky texture and all these different things. I remember people literally teasing me at school because of my hair and just assuming that I never washed my hair because I would wear it in braids and stuff like that. And just like all these different things, and being called, you know, shadow and too dark and too this and too that, and just being bullied all the way through like high school. And not just me, but other people. Like everyone has experienced futurism to some extent. And the reason why it's problematic, at least in my opinion, is like these days, white or even light-skinned beauty influencers can wear braids or the two braids down their back and parade on Instagram, and that'd be perfectly fine. And society doesn't blink an eye. It's like whatever. But then I do it and I'm ghetto and I'm ratchet. And not only that, but I remember being, you know, mistreated all the time because of my features, like my big lips and the way that I wear my hair. And now that these influencers or major media is saying, oh, now that's pretty, now that's the trend, and they're filling their lips and they're braiding up their hair, it's fine. And now it's okay for me to look the way that I look because other people say that it is. When it's like, it was nothing wrong with big lips or these features. It's just that now it's popular and it's a trend. It's fresh, it's new, it's this, it's that. I remember all the time being called fat for my natural curves and my body, and now it's fetishized in major media. And even in today's society, like in today's media, we will see a lot of people where they'll cast Black actors or actresses, or they'll have Black models walk the runway, but you will see that they're still very, very close to those European features. And the closer that they can be to those European features, they'll get more screen time. They'll be pushed more in the media. You see that with people on the runway. You see that with people in TV shows. You even see it on Instagram. You know, the more exotic that you can look versus actual Afrocentric, then you'll get all the screen time in the world. And this type of thinking is not unique just to Black communities. You see it a lot in Asian American communities where people are getting those monolid surgeries. You see it a lot in Latin communities where they're skin bleaching now to be lighter than what they actually are. It's prevalent all over the world in all these different communities. Even recently, we had Tiny and her daughter undergo very dangerous eye color change surgery just so they can have those blue eyes that society goes crazy for and loses their mind over. These two women could easily have gone blind and experience blindness just to change the color of their eyes, and it happens all the time. They're not the first, nor will they be the last to do something like that. And it's kind of like the bias and the judgment that people can build off of skin tone. It's really amazing. People will say things like, oh, you're dark skinned, so, and automatically assume that you're complicated or you're problematic or you're aggressive or you want to start fights. Or if you're light skinned, they'll assume that you're soft and you're crying all the time and all these different things. These are all thought processes and actions of colorism, because just because you're a skin tone, it doesn't make you one way or another. Those things don't correlate, which is why I don't understand people are having a difficult time grasping that.
Not clicking. What's not clicking?
They'll have a whole download of your whole personality just based off of the way that you look, and they'll discriminate based off of those assumptions, and that's the problem.
The rise of "you're pretty for a Black girl," plus other microaggressions.
You know, you're actually really pretty for a Black girl.
You don't really act Black.
Like a white girl trapped in a Black girl's body.
You like country music? That's not very Black of you.
I mean, you look very exotic. I'm just saying, it's a compliment. You look so exotic, girl. It's a compliment.
Is your hair real? Is it yours? Do you wash it?
First and foremost, y'all need to stop saying stuff like that. I know to the average person, you're probably thinking, oh,
Why is she so upset? Why is she so mad? It's just a compliment and the rest of them are jokes. Blah.
but in reality, it's not jokes. And it's not a compliment either. It's a microaggression, which by definition means statement, action, or incident regarded as an instant of indirect, subtle, or unintentional discrimination against a member of a marginalized group, such as racial or ethnic minority. So yeah, it's not a compliment, it's a microaggression. Because by you saying, I'm pretty for a black girl, you're basically saying that majority of your girls that I've seen of your race are ugly. But you's an exception, you're pretty for a black girl. Same thing with when you say different things like, oh, you don't sound black, you don't act black. It's like you saying, oh, black people usually sound uneducated, they usually have slang in their tone. But you sound very studious, you sound like you know what you're talking about, you sound intelligent. Because why is it that black can't be intelligent now? Why is it that black can't be well-spoken, you know? And I know a lot of people say, well, I don't mean anything by it, it's just like a harmless joke. It's not me being racist or colorist. I don't, it's not that deep. Which, to a certain extent, I get that. But just because it's unintentional doesn't make it any less harmful. For example, if you push someone down a flight of stairs on accident, they're still at the bottom with 2 broken legs. So just because you unintentionally do something doesn't take away from the impact of your words. That's why it's important for you to actually take the time out and understand where a lot of these ideas are rooted in and where a lot of these thoughts are coming from. I'm not less of a black person because I enjoy hikes and yoga and sushi. I don't understand how that is me now being less black or now contributing to me being a white girl trapped in a black girl's body. Y'all tried it. That's just my preference, damn. Plus the myth of the angry black woman.
I ain't gonna lie. What he say? I'm already black. I don't need no black bitch.
Right, that's what he said.
So yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I can't have no cut. Like, I know if I'm fucking with you, I'm black as fuck, right? I'm black as shit.
Yeah, black is beautiful though, man.
So I know if I fuck with a black bitch, we gonna have a black ass baby.
So?
I ain't with that.
Why?
Cause I'm already black as fuck.
So?
I can't. No.
Well, I mean, this is an interesting thing. You know what I mean? Like, so if you have a baby, you don't want your baby to be the same complexion as you?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of your preferences are prejudice. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's different if you have something that you like. That's not a crime. But when your preference is based or a projection of your own self-hate, that becomes a prejudice. I grew up around so many black men who would say, I would never, ever, ever get with a black woman because I want my kids to have good hair. Or I want my kids to be light-skinned. Or I want my kids to have colored eyes. That is a reflection of your own prejudice that is now affecting that preference for the women who you want to date and marry or have children with. That is the problem. When you make race or skin tone a requirement for your partners, that's when it becomes prejudice. That's when it becomes an issue. And a lot of the time, it's a reflection of what you feel inside and about yourself. If you date someone who's light and you're dark skinned, so what? Just as long as it's not coming from a hateful place. And I find that it's the only, for me anyway, how I experienced it. Looking at black guys was the only time I ever thought, oh, I wonder if he's into black women. Oh, I wonder if you want to date me. And he's my own race. That's ridiculous, you know? Because of the things that they say to me, say straight to my face, or things that they have expressed to me. They'll say in a heartbeat, you're really dope, you're really cool to hang out with, I like you, you're fun or whatever, but you're a little bit too dark for me. I don't like dating people who are darker than me. I've heard that so many times from black men. I don't really date people who are darker than me. I look for girls who are lighter than me. And as far as like the whole myth of the angry black woman, I'm just gonna put it out here like this. The myth doesn't exist. I could tell you for as a black woman, I'm not angry. I really could care less. But what I will say is I have every right to be upset. From the treatment, from the different ways that people in my community act and behave. I mean, if we wanted to be mad, we very well could be, because this is foolishness. And it happens and it affects us so often and so much. And it's like a lot of the times we'll speak up about this and we'll say something and it'll be our own races who are discrediting what we're saying or disregarding our feelings. That's not right, you know? So it's like, if I am the angry black woman just because I have an opinion that may differ from yours, or just because I have experiences that are different from yours, then fine, so be it. I'm not an angry black woman, but honestly, I have every right to be. Well, on that note, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, feel free to dislike and troll me in the comments. It helps my engagement. Actually, please don't do that. I'm pretty sensitive. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.